Your oppressor's been making you feel like you ain't nothing. And then they use your own people to make you feel like you ain't nothing neither. Like this is all your life is worth. Is this all you feel you worth? Is this what you feel you deserve?
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy 7:6. Let me show you what God said you deserve.
Bring it out.
But you can't get it living like your oppressors.
Right.
The things you're doing today, your oppressors let you do that. God ain't never let you do that. And guess what? It's so bad that our people don't even know when they getting their ass whooped.
Right.
God been whooping our ass all the way back since 1619, and you still don't know you getting your ass whooped.
Right.
Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Let's see what God said you deserve, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
For thou art an holy people.
He said you deserve to be a separate people. You're not like everybody else.
Right.
Because guess what? Coming from a child, living in oppression, all the way to today, and we still find time to enjoy ourselves. We still upbeat. We still make something out of nothing. We are the only people in the United States of America that's been oppressed since the moment you got brought here, and you still can be able to live your life like ain't nothing going on.
Right.
You are different than everybody else. Read.
Unto the Lord thy God.
But he only chose you for himself. Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
To do what?
To be a special people.
A normal person.
A special people.
A no good nigga.
Special people.
At the bottom.
A special people.
He chose you to be a special people. He chose you to be a special people. Read.
Unto himself. Above.
Below.
Above.
At the bottom.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Guess what? God chose you to be above all people that's on the face of the earth.
Yes.
That's what you deserve.
Right.
You deserve rulership on this earth. But we sit around, we drink our life away, we smoke our, and I say we because guess what? At one point in time, I did the exact same thing.
Right.
This is what we do. We got to clock in at McDonald's. We got to clock in at Walmart. We got to clock in at Checkers, at Popeyes. And you can't stand it the moment you wake up. You don't want to go to work when you get off of work. And you know you got to go back to work the next day. And you tired of your oppression. But you continue in your oppression. Because your oppression is not going to cease until you come out of the ways of the world.
That's right.
You got to come back to keeping the commandments of God. Not as a Christian, not as an African American, not as a Baptist, not as a child of God, not as a nigger, not as a Afro-American, a Cuban, a Dominican, a Mexican, as an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Those are your four. Those are your names that God set before you.
That's right.
Those are your names. Romans chapter, 3? Give me Romans 3 and 1. Romans chapter 3 and verse 1. Read that.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage?
Go to 2. Go to 2 and 1. Romans 2 and 1. Read that.
Romans chapter 2 and verse 1. Therefore, thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judgest. For wherein thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself. For thou that judgest does the same thing.
Because then you have like the brother that came through and said, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Because he understands that I understand the laws of God. And what you have to understand is, like I told you, we hold ourselves to the same standard. Because if I judge you or your fault and I don't fix myself, then guess what? I condemn myself from the judgment that I put upon you. My brother right here. Come see. What's your name? Say it again. Junior Williams.
All right, Junior, right? All right. So, Junior, we getting out here and we trying to teach our people who they are according to the Bible and the things that they must do, right? So we talk about the struggle, and those are the things that show us exactly who we are, right? So if I was to ask you, what's your nationality? What is your nationality? Okay, but you come from a race of people, correct? What race of people do you come from? See how long that answer took? You see exactly what I'm talking about, right? Other people don't have that same problem, bro. You ask a white man who they are, they're gonna say, I'm white, I'm Irish, I'm British. My people come from Spain. That's what they're gonna say. But our people say, I really don't know, right? That's not normal. You see what I'm saying? Black is not your nationality. I'll tell you that like straight. Because you can't find the nation of black within the Bible, right? Because you said you believe in God, right? So what does God call you? One of his children? Which one? Gotcha, right? It's okay, you can say I don't know. So you physically have ancestors, right? So you have a nation of people that you physically come from. All right? You come from the nation of Israel. Hey, step up real quick. I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to show you something real quick, right? So when we come out here, this is the reason why we bring this sign out. Because you can't find Puerto Rican, you can't find African American, you can't find Jamaican, you can't find none of those terms in the Bible. But our people will tell us, like, yeah, man, I believe in the Bible, I'm a child of God, but you can't find none of the terms that we would put on ourselves. You can't find none of those in the Bible. So you gotta, if you really believe in the Bible, you should really want to call yourself exactly what God calls you. Not what the world calls you. Not what society calls you. But what God calls you because you believe in God, right? So look at this sign, right? I want you to say it. According to this sign, you're not an African American. What are you actually? Because typically you would call yourself an American black. But the Bible calls you a Judite. You're from the tribe of Judah, the mighty tribe of Judah. You see what I'm saying? That's what God says that you're from. God don't say that you're an African American. God don't say that you descend from two white men. Do you believe that? You don't think you're two white men, right? So why do you think our people call themselves African American? Because you're like, dang, bro, what you talking about? That's it. I see that face. I see the face. We came to America, right? They didn't trick us. They took us into slavery.
We actually put ourselves in slavery. Again,
bro, let me ask you this, right? Yeah, exactly. How do we trick? How do we put ourselves in slavery?
Feel like the beginning time, the two brothers, Joseph and brother were put sent to the Egyptians. They thought it would be slavery.
Okay, you quoting Joseph. You quoting how Joseph went into captivity in Egypt. We're talking about our people collectively now. How do we come into slavery? Because you said we brought ourselves into slavery. Did we load ourselves up on ships? Did we sell ourselves on auction blocks? Did you put a barcode or a price tag on yourself and say, hey, buy me? No. So you got to ask yourself.
I want to say your name again. Say it again. Junior. Junior. Now I'm gonna say the point you made. That's why he asked you, because I wanted to see what you was going to go with it. Because you said we put ourselves into slavery. Now, in a sense, that's true. In a sense, that's true, but not as far as us getting on a ship and saying, here we are, enslave us. Right. We had a choice in the beginning, in the time of Moses. You understand? Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. We had a time. We had an option. God gave us an option. Just like, believe it or not, Junior, today, you getting an option. Right. You're going to get an option today. But the same thing back then, we got an option, and just like you said, we made the choice to put ourselves into slavery. Right. Watch this. This was the choice. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. This was the first choice. Right here. Watch this.
Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
So this was the first choice. He said, Moses said, check this out, Israel. If y'all observe to do all the commandments of God by keeping them, all the commandments that he commanded them that day, he said this was going to happen. This is the first choice.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
He said, if you keep making it short, Moses gave us an option and said, if you keep God's commandments, God said He's going to put you above all nations on the face of the earth. That was the first option. The second option was this. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all His commandments and His statutes, which I command thee this day.
So the second choice, he said, if you shorten it up, if you don't keep the commandments, because the first choice was, if you do keep the commandments, I'll put you above all nations on the face of the earth. The second choice is, if you decide you don't want to keep the commandments, this is what He's going to do.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
He said, if you don't keep the commandments, then God said He's going to put curses upon you. Right. One of those curses, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. One of those curses, just like you said, we put ourselves into slavery. Now, that's not on the sense of, like I said, getting on a boat, saying, here we are, African Americans, enslave us, white man. No, but Moses gave us that choice, and we chose the latter. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
How did we get here in slavery, Junior? How did the black people get to America in slavery? What form of transportation? Ships, right? Watch this.
And the Lord thy God, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said He's going to bring us into Egypt again. Now, if you're familiar with Moses, let my people go. He took the children of Israel out of Egypt, right? So now He said, if you don't keep His commandments, one of the curses that I'm going to put on you is I'm going to send you back into Egypt. Right. But He did not mean Egypt as the landmass. Right. Let's see what He meant. Watch this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. Come on. I am the Lord thy God.
He said, I'm the Lord thy God. Watch this, Junior.
Which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the land of Egypt. Egypt, because God said He was going to send us back into Egypt, right? Let's see what Egypt means.
Out of the house of bondage.
What's the house of, what is Egypt?
The house of bondage.
What's Egypt, Junior? The house of bondage. Right. Another name for bondage is what? Slavery. So go back to Deuteronomy 28:68. He said, now I'm going to bring you, read that from the top.
And Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
And remember, Junior, this is the second choice. This is if we didn't keep the commandments. Watch this.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So He said He's going to bring us back into Egypt, but according to the Bible, Egypt means bondage, right? How did you say African Americans got to America? What transportation? Ships, right? So He said, I'm going to bring you back into slavery again, but how?
With ships.
How you going to bring us into slavery?
With ships.
How did we get here in slavery, Junior? Didn't God say that would happen to us if we didn't keep His commandments? Watch this.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
Now, Junior, I'm not a historian, but I'm real familiar with my people's history. When we got off those ships, didn't that not happen to us right there? Those auction blocks? On those auction blocks, right? Straight off the ship, they put us on auction blocks. And what did they do with us on those auction blocks? Did they give us the wreaths, the things you get on your neck when you go to Hawaii and say, welcome to America? Did they give us jobs? What did they do with us on those auction blocks? They sold us. Read that again. And ye shall what?
There ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
God said, I'm going to send you into slavery again on ships. And when you get off those ships, I'm going to sell you to your enemies.
That's right.
Your enemies enslaved you, not your friends, not your buddies. Right. There's no such thing as a good white man or a good Asian man or a good, guess what? All of them play a hand in your oppression because they put their businesses right here in your communities and they suck your people dry with all their finances and they don't put nothing back into the communities that they robbing.
That's right.
Because guess what? Last time I checked, my people made the best chicken wings I've ever had. But guess what? Guess where guess where we go buy our chicken wings from? Right over there. And those same people that run this building right here, they don't do nothing for this place right here.
Bring it out.
When they ever put money in our communities. They don't. He said, these are your enemies.
Bring it out.
These are the people that oppose you. These are the people that keep you in oppression. Because guys, last time I checked, if you go to Chinatown in New York, there's not a soul food restaurant out there.
Bring it out.
If you go to an Arab neighborhood, there's not a black-owned business out there. If you go to a white neighborhood, there's not a liquor store in every corner. So why the hell everybody feel like they freely can come into your neighborhoods and set up shop and still get your money?
Right.
Because they are your enemies. Guess what? When a brother want to disrespect another sect, what he do? I stump on his block and I'm going to spray my flag all over your spot. That's what they do. They say, we your oppressors, we setting up shop right here. Do something. Do something. Yeah, we're going to set up right here. We're going to put our Chinese restaurant right here, and you're going to buy it. And I'm going to charge you $20 for a salty plate of rice. Right. And diabetes in a cup, and call it sweet tea, and that's yours. And I'm going to give you refried chicken, because the chicken that I got, it been sitting in a pot over here waiting all day, and you came, and I put it in the grease a second time for you. And you're going to buy it. You're going to buy it, nigga, and you're going to eat it. And that's what they do. These are your enemies, right? Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
For slave men and slave women. So when you said we put ourselves into slavery, you were right, but you didn't know the right understanding. Right. Meaning we had a choice. God said, keep my commandments, I'll put you above all nations. You break my commandments, and I'm going to put you in slavery. Right. That's right. You understand what I'm saying? Deuteronomy 32 and 39. 32 and 39. Said before you today? Oh yeah, that's I kill, I make alive. 30:19. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19. Come on. I call heaven and earth.
Now remember, Junior, I said I'm gonna give you two choices today too, right? So now I'm giving everybody, if your foreparents went through the slave trade, today you got two choices. You might as well call this the wilderness, because it's the same thing that happened in the time of Moses. Moses gave us two choices. Blessings or cursings. That's right. And guess what that equates to? Life or death. Right. I'm giving y'all them choices today. Watch this.
I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you.
What I said before them?
Life and death.
Today I said before you life and death. Commandments, keep God's commandments, that's your life. You understand? That's where you gain life. If you break God's commandments, that's where you choosing death. Right. A lot of our people living suicidal today, because we do things and we know it's going to jack us up, but we don't care no more, bro. We've been living this life so long, we don't give a damn. A lot of us don't give a damn. We don't care. Because guess what? Guess what we've been brought up to believe? All you got to do is stay black and die. That's the only thing we've been taught. We've been seeing our people get killed on the street so much, we know that our life it's not even promised for me to live past 30. That's right. That's our reality. You take that to a person so long, eventually, guess what they'll do? They'll stop giving a damn. No. And then they'll say they don't care about the oppression, but guess what they do? They get drunk, they get high all day, so they don't have to keep in mind this oppression. Bring it out. That's right. That's what you do. You know your oppression, and you don't like your oppression, so you try to escape your reality by being drunk or high all day. Bring it out. And then when that sober come in, and that high go away and that buzz is gone, you right back into oppression. Right. That's why some of us stay high all day long. Yes, right. That's why some of us get up in the morning to drink strong drink all day. Your body be so sore the next day, you can feel it in your joints. Your damn joints be hurting. Your head be bumping. You be toe up, and you get up the next day and do it all over again. Right. You feel your body falling apart, and you do it all over again the next day. You are insane, bro. We are living a suicidal life as African Americans. And nobody's telling us nothing. They'll tell you that the highest level of STDs in America is in Augusta, and you will still sleep from sister to sister. You don't give a damn. You are living a suicidal lifestyle. You got set before you life and death, Junior.
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.